Testing.
Thank you. Director, you can continue.
Thank you, Chairperson. So the options, so the first option, if you can go to Jill, there is a, can I just guide you in terms of this report? The Office of the Municipal Manager. Okay, thank you. So the first option, as you can see on the screen, as the Office of the Municipal Manager depicted in the way that it still has the 6 directorates that we currently have, internal audit executive. And then it was, in that option, it was proposed that IDP should be present under the planning directorate, and that the communications function present under the corporate services directorate.
I just want to find, are we at, which option are we now?
This is the first option.
Okay.
If we can then go, Joel, to the page with the Office of the Municipal Manager in the second option.
But sorry, Gomen. Sorry, Chairperson. Kunnen wij prentje weer krijgen, alsjeblieft? Als wij prentje krijgen. So what is option 1? Is there an internal audit that is also part of it? No? And then what is the other one?
Administration support.
Administrative support.
Okay.
So Richie, I'm going to just sit here next to Joel for this. Thank you.
National government was here. When they presented similar things, when we're dealing with this with national government and Provident Garden Route, they requested something that we must compile, components, something, I just forget this wording, that was used, that we must write to them, something. Did we do the request that they made to us as a municipality? Before we move here, we got a workshop where national government was here, province was here, Garden Route was here, I just forget others. Then they made mention that whatever you're going to proceed doing, but we'll advise you to do something. There's a wording, just I forget that wording they use. But it was something that we needed to write to them so that we know we're on the same page. But they said that we don't stop you to do your processes, but there's some stuff that we need from you as a municipality. I don't know whether you follow me.
I'm not sure.
Don't share a meeting. You already have your meeting of. Just tell us. You can sit.
Speaker, you can't say I chaired the meeting, Speaker.
You confuse
no, I don't confuse anyone. I was sitting here.
No,
I didn't
you're
speak.
confusing it.
Now you say I chaired the meeting.
You're
You can't say that.
Don't be
You must withdraw that, Speaker.
I won't do that.
No, I didn't speak. You can't say I chaired the meeting.
Are you following me?
Thank you, Councillors. Director, can you respond, please?
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, the actual cover item that is written, as I've said, is not as detailed as the attachment, which is the actual report. The attachment, which is the actual report, covers the things that the staff regulations require of the municipality to do. It discusses the background and the overview, and all of those things is in the more detailed report that is attached to it, and that those things align with what is in the staff regulations. As I have said in the workshop as well, and I will reiterate it and repeat it today, it was envisaged when this legislation was promulgated that a municipality would have about 12 months to do this exercise. Following the audit finding that this municipality received, and following the new senior management's commencement year, we are very far behind in this process. And in order to meet the agreed deadlines that this municipality undertook with the Auditor General, we needed to take a view of looking at what had been done previously and taking those inputs and letting it inform some of the requirements that have been that we are expected to do. Those requirements then include having to look at doing an analysis of what the current service delivery is, and then doing a case for change. This is some of the work that prior to my arrival here, that the manager for human resources had commenced with, and she had produced a draft report on that. We had taken the information from the draft report to inform this information that is in here, as well as taking some information that emanated from a engagement that the current MM also had with the extended management on a 2-day engagement, where some of the inputs that were given there was also informed the document that had then eventually been produced by the HR manager, and which we took the extracts from there and just formulated it into the sections that we needed to formulate. At the end of the day, this report will also have to still be tabled to the provincial government, and if there are shortcomings, they will also have to refer this back to us. So we are aware of the fact that there is going to be other oversight over this, but to the extent that our department was able to ensure that what we've produced up until now complies and aligns with what is expected of us in terms of the legislation, we have applied ourselves and we have included it in the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Any questions, committee members? Councillor Charlie.
Thank you, Chairperson. Man, I see there on the screen, and I need a deep causalizing clarification on this thing. Because recently there were offices were removed there. Now, we are going to do some changes at the offices, whereby I can tell you that at the HR, Human Resources offices, there's a backlog of job that needs to be done. There's a backlog of a job that needs to be done there. Because if we are now going, I see these are the offices that needs changes. This need to be moved there, and that needs to be moved there, and that needs to be moved there. That's the thing that where I'm saying that, let me get a clarification by causalizing it. You see, councillors, managers, directors, in this municipality, we've got a backlog of service delivery. Because now I don't understand why this should be our first priority. This can't be our first priority. It can't be our first priority. We're sitting with a crisis. We are under Section 154. Where are the people that are going to move these things? While these things, these offices are going to be shifted and all that stuff. Recently, we shift infrastructure and all the stuff from there by police station. We shift them there. Now we are going to shift again.
Councillor Charlie, can I just come in? This is the macro organizational structure that we are busy discussing. We are not moving offices. We are discussing from the MM's office to directors' positions to senior managers' positions. How the org review must look like. This is the item we are on. We are not moving any offices. We are just formalizing the structure, how it will work.
Yeah, we are going to do that. Why? By it's like this, you know, a vase, a gold vase. It shines outside. We should be concerned about some other stuff than be concerned about these things. We can't come here and grandstand that we are busy now preparing for these things whereby our town is in need of service delivery. The money that should go, the time that we should spend. We are not going to act here as a vase that whereby you are going to polish with a brasso outside and clean it, it shines, and inside it is black. This is what I'm trying to say, that how am I going to explain to somebody who's always asking me, we are preparing this thing. There's a lot of things in the finance that we should prepare. I'm not saying that the work should not be done, but for mine is, we are under siege. We are under attack. This can't be our first priority. Thank you.
Now, Councillor Charlie, it's not that this is our first priority. There was an audit finding that the stuff was not done. And we have to do things correct now. So we have to approve a report on how our organogram must look like so we can move forward. Because we can't fill positions and do stuff if this org review is not submitted in the right format. Because this report must still go to the provincial office for condonance to the MEC.
Hey, Chairperson, that means that the former staff misleaded us, they didn't do their job right. All these years, from 1996. So I'm not going to go further, but all I am saying is that it shows that somebody somewhere didn't do something right. So I don't know how we are going to get it right, but it's fine. Because all I'm saying, I'm not fighting with anyone because, you know, I am here to represent the community. Then when they ask me, I need to have a clarification. I'm on Councillor Low. No, Lantuk. Chintiko. So that's all that I want to know. That's why I'm saying here, let us crystallize and give me a clarification whereby somebody is going to ask me there. Then I have a way to answer. Why is this been happening? I'm not saying to do the offices, but all that is why I am putting my frustration is about now we are at the finance. And finance, it is where all service delivery is lying. Each and every cent in each and everything and each and every time that we need to do is to cover. We need to do lots of things, but I'm going to park it there as long as I have just said my say. Thank you, Chairperson. We can continue.
Thank you, Councillor Low.
I think also this is for us very important because we have to, this is the line of how people are going to report, the system line of reporting, and also how we can make sure that service delivering is moving directly for our communities. So that's why, and we are already nearly 2 years behind this whole process as a municipality. So we have to implement this process now that we have to deal with. So we can move, Chairperson.
Councillor Chokol.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chairperson, when I listened to the director when she was presenting this to us and also looking at the report, I just want to make sure that I'm understanding it correctly. The regulations that the MSRR, the municipal staff regulations were gazetted in 2021. And since then, we never had this process. So the AG has been, has found us actually wanting on this, I don't know how many times, but we've got a problem with the AG, whereby the AG is saying we're not compliant with this. So I've tried to read the regulations. There is a section in the regulations that speaks to the procedure for determining the staff establishment. And there's a list of them. And in those regulations, there's also issues about when do you do it after a new term of a council has started, and if there's also the municipal boundaries have changed and stuff like that. Now I'm looking at us. We are 4 years into this term, 2021 up until 2025. 2026 we'll have a new term. And I understand if I heard the director correctly, there were also, when the AG was engaging with the municipality, there were commitments that we are going to try and comply. Now, looking at this, because I remember, I think in 2017, the municipality went through this process. There was even a consultant that was appointed. And I remember there was a long process. I was still even serving in the LLF. We had a long process. We had a placement committee as well, stuff like that. So I just want to know, was it not going to be better if we do this whole process in the new term, which is 2026 up to the 5-year term, seeing that we already at the end of the term? Because I thought maybe for now the municipal manager can maybe bring some amendments to the current structure to council and do that. And if there needs to be compliance with the section 154 that we are under, we try and do that within those. Is it really necessary for us to go through this whole process at this time? I just want to find out about that, Chairperson, because I really do want to understand that. And seeing that we're really at the end of the term, and if you look at the regulations as to what they require from us, what must happen, it looks like it's going to be a long process. So I just want to understand that, Chairperson. Thanks. Otherwise, I understand. I think we need to comply, but I'm just not sure of the timing as to when we're doing it now. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Chokola. Director?
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, the only way that any of these amendments can be done must be in terms of the staff regulations. There's no shortcut that we can take. It is this process, but what we've tried to do is to try and condense it so that we will go after this. If whatever direction council gives us after this, we'll still go back to the LLF, and we will then be under pressure to have engagements with staff and bring things back to council within the next month or two in order to get this, to at least have an approved structure. Then we meet the compliance in terms of the AG's finding. Then there is still a process that needs to be undertaken to implement the structure, which is then the next few months following on that, to make sure that the structure is implemented if it is then, if we get the go-ahead from the provincial government. So that is another process that will then involve, as you know, the placement, etc., and the policy developments that have to take place. So there is quite an extensive process, but the approval of a staff structure or the review of a staff structure so that it can be aligned with the staff regulations is step one in that process. The structure as it currently is, for example, not funded, and that is one of the regulated requirements, is that the structure must be funded by the budget. So we need to bring all of those things into compliance, and that is why this is an urgent step one that needs to be taken. It is obviously within council's prerogative, if this council then decides that we must go ahead in non-compliance and rather stand this process over for the next council when they come.
Thank you, the Deputy Mayor.
Afternoon. I just want to know, and maybe I shouldn't ask this, or maybe I shouldn't say that. The committee, I think they need to, or they do sit most before meetings like this. So, or maybe it should be like that, where you discuss and then also get to a understanding as to what your agenda is like and what the item should be. That's my, but with regards to what Councillor Tsakolo asked, irrespective if the term ends tomorrow, the municipalities still have to have a structure in place, irrespective. So whether they do it today or they do it after the elections, it still needs to be done. There's a finding from the AGN before the change of governance might take place. There will be another audit report. And then there will be another finding with regards to this, because it's only November 2026, maybe, or 2027, February, that the municipal elections is going to be sorted. So whether we pass this today or we're going to pass at that time, this needs to be done, irrespective when. So whether your term is going to end tomorrow, this still needs to be done. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Councillor Law.
Thanks. I think, DM, you have covered most of the things, because even if you have to go out tomorrow morning, you still have, as authority, as a municipality, you have to make decisions. You can't, because you're going out tomorrow morning, and there's something that you have to do, or you have to make a law, you can't do it. So the argument of why we leave it for next year, as a municipality, autonomous body, we are authority on our own, and we can make decisions. And this is part of it, because most of the time people complain about service deliverings. We want to restructure it because we have to budget for it. And we are in a budget process now to deal with it. So we can budget for it, so the flow of the work in our department, in our municipality, is running smoothly. So that's why this thing of we are scared of taking decisions and waiting until maybe Jesus is coming. We have to deal with it, we have to make decisions, and we have to make hard decisions. And it can be part and parcel of what we are doing. So DM, you already clarified it, is that even if the elections is next year or 2027, we still have to make decisions. And this is part of it. For 2 years, we didn't do it. Now, this item in front of us, now, what would hold us to take decisions? That is legally, not illegally, that is legally. So there's nothing wrong with it. So I will say, Chairperson, if we finish debating, then we have to look into the recommendations and we have to move, because we can't sit 2 hours around one item.
Thank you, Councillor Law. Councillor Chokolo.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I don't want to be misunderstood here. I'm not saying people shouldn't make decisions, but I also do want to say that people must make sensible decisions and responsible decisions. And I think the director, when she started, she answered me by saying there's no shortcut, actually, because I was not saying this shouldn't happen. I was just asking, looking at the time, and if I can read you the staff regulations, DM, through you, Chairperson, they are clearly telling you as to when, as to how you do this. I was referring to that. So for me, it was not about just because the term is ending, then you can't do. I'm not talking about that, because when you make decisions, you have to look at the resources that you spend on those, whereas you could have done it better. There's a lot of things that you need to consider when doing this. An IDP, a new cycle of the IDP must start at that point. I was involved in when we did this. I went through this process. I've got experience of this. I'm not talking about something that I don't know. But I think the director has given me an answer by saying there's no shortcut, and I would accept, I mean, she's the expert. I would accept if she's saying that is the process. And I got an answer that we will go up as far as we can with the process. But yeah, we must just not be like as if, yeah. But thanks, Chair.
Thank you. Committee members, can we move? Councillor Law.
Chairperson, there's a recommendation that is in front of us. And the one recommendation is that is A, B, C, and D. But on B, they said there's design options, but we didn't put, there's no number 1, 2, or 3 in. I will say that because I can see also it was also presented to the MACO, and the mayoral committee. I will say that let's go with option number 3. With option number 3, that is that. Option number 3 is that, then we say that, with option number 3 is that communication is under corporate and IDP under planning. This is the recommendation, then we can move with the recommendation in front of us.
Chairperson,
Nou steek allemaal handen op. Councillor Kumalwana, I will come in now.
Thank you, Chair. On this recommendation as put up by law, I will propose let's take legally, go to MM's office to give support in that office. Because if we take one department out on that office, we'll remain MM alone there. Let's take legal, must go to MM's office.
MM?
Chairperson, I wonder why there's an interest to dismantle my office. You see, why there's this interest to dismantle my office? Why there's an interest to leave me with nothing? You want me to read newspapers? What type of a municipal manager am I going to be? You want me to come to the office and read newspapers? Chairperson, I'm the head of administration. I am the head of administration. It's legislated. I'm the accounting officer. It's legislated, Chairperson. Why would you take functions from my office? For what good purpose? Is that the macro structure? You know? When you take office, then you have done with the macro structure. No, Chairperson. I indicated that that office must be left as it is at the moment, up until we have followed all the processes to ensure, you know, that the processes are followed correctly. But you can't say remove communication. Who's the communicator? I'm the chief communicator in this institution. I'm the chief communicator. So if you say remove communication from the office of the municipal manager, then who communicates thereafter? Because I'm the chief communicator. If you say remove ITP and institutional performance, who does that? Because that is my responsibility. That's why I am in this particular responsibility. That's why I'm in this particular institution. Let's avoid a situation where we want to create a caricature of a municipal manager. Let's avoid that. You see, I found an office here. I don't want to live without an office. You see? Actually, it's like a constructive dismissal. It's a constructive dismissal at the end of the day. I indicated that when we were at the workshop here to say, you can't say a municipal manager must not have work to do. On the 28th, I'm supposed to appear in court. On the 28th of May. Now, the detective was serving me with a summons that I must appear in court. There must be staff that must be in that particular office. Even this process that we are doing, this one. If you go to section 66, it is clear that the municipal manager must prepare the structure, and council must approve that particular structure. But there is this enthusiasm that this office must be dismantled. No, I don't think Chairperson was doing this thing correctly.
Councillor Chokolo?
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I've listened to the MM, and I think it is important, Chair, that we, as the recommendations were saying, that if you look at recommendation B, for an example, that the council decides on the approval of a macrostructure design option. This committee does not have the powers to approve that structure. What I would propose then, Chair, is that we remove recommendation C, because that has happened. And we leave it like that. And I don't want to say, listening to what the MM has said, I don't want to say that let more engagements happen while we're going to council. But what I think should happen then, and I think that will happen, because remember, these recommendations are from the MM. Now, if the MM is not happy about what he's actually recommending, we've got a problem. Then I would say that we leave the recommendations as they are, and we will actually when we deal with the item in council, we have proper recommendations from the MM, and we debate them there. That's what I would propose, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Chokolo. Committee members, from my side, do you think we need another workshop on this item? Or you think we must move? But Councillor Lau, your
Yes, Chairperson, mine is I don't want people to misunderstood here, you know, and hear what the MM say. We don't want your office to be dismantled. We're never going to allow that. That's why even Councillor Bonele have raised that legal also can go to your office. This is what they have raised. So you don't want to dismantle it. Secondly, the issue of court appearance. We never received anything about court appearance as councillors here. We heard here in the corridors about court appearance and about all these funds. We can only respond when we have things in front of us as council to deal with it. So we are not here to dismantle any structure. That's not why we're here. Secondly, council is still going to make a decision because council must approve it. Because they have to go through council. That is where the council is the highest decision-making body in this municipality. So when we deal with these options, that's why the MMF wrote in it here, but through his departments. And when we talk about this mental department, that's why even we have directors. The directors' work is to come to direct report to the MM. The internal audit report to the MM. So we are not here to dismantle this office. That's not our job while we are here. Because if we dismantle the office of the MM, it means we can close shop as a municipality. Why you have bring the review to us? You bring it for us to make decisions. For the interest of this municipality, not for the interest of one or two people. I understand where the aim is coming from. The IDP is playing a big role in Naisna. We understand that. Communications play a big role in the Naisna municipality. We understand that. Legal is playing a big role in the Naisna municipality. We understand that. But what I want to say is that there's an item in front of us. And the item has been drafted. It is here in front of us. And the report is also coming from the MM. So that's why this item is in front of us. It gives us options. So now when we're going for options, it means we can't go for options. So what is the purpose we have items here in front of us? And I don't want people to misunderstood me. We are not here to dismantle any office, not even the office of the CFO. That's not why we're here.
Mr. Charles, I see you want.
Thank you, Councillor. I don't know whether I'm allowed to speak in this committee, but the municipal manager has indicated that I should maybe just advise council or this committee on what was the reason why we had the workshop of last week. The reason why we had the workshop was to direct the committee and to direct the administration on the correct process that we need to follow if we want to go through the process of staff establishment. There's two processes here. The one is staff establishment, and the other one is organization review. Organization review is in terms of Section 66 of the Municipal Systems Act. Right? Staff establishment is in terms of the regulations of 2021 as promulgated. That's the other. The process that we are currently following now is flawed, it's incorrect. We have not done a diagnostic analysis of the institution as it is required. We have not done that. We are going through the process of wanting to do staff establishment, while in terms of the regulations say if we want to follow staff establishment, it is triggered by, one, the redetermination of the new boundaries of a municipality, the election of a new council of the municipality,
Sorry, Chairperson.
the adoption of a new
Chair.
5-year plan.
No, Councillor Low, you are disrespecting
No,
now
no,
that
I
leader.
want-
No. No, but he's talking, but the
I say sorry,
you are saying
Chairperson.
so, no, but you are disrespecting, why?
I have the right to ask.
This council is not gonna go anywhere, because we as councillors, we know better than the administration. We know better than the directors and the managers. We are so highly educated, because they are dumb, we are the ones who are clever and smart. This thing should stop. These people went to university for this job.
Thank you, Councillor Charlie. Councillor Charlie, what we basically discussed was that Mr. Charles made an indication that this process is wrong. So why is the item in front of us if this item is wrong?
But let him finish.
Why is the item in front of
Why is it in front of us if this item is wrong?
Finish, then now you can come
can't
and
say
let
you
it
No, Councillor Charlie, we don't have time. If you have time, we don't have time. We must move.
I will excuse myself if we don't have time, but we're in a section 80. It's the same thing that was happening in the integrated human settlement. We're not going to disrespect the staff here because we know something, we know nothing.
Committee members, let's get order, please. MM, answer us. Mr. Charles made the statement to say that this is wrong. Now, why is this item in front of us if this is wrong? We need clarity on that.
Chairperson, on a point of, can I just propose something that's going to make us progress, Chairperson, please? Can I just make a recommendation that I think we're going to progress? Can I request that, Chairperson, because remember, I didn't want to complain about it. Even the workshop that we had, we were told the night before the workshop that there's a workshop. Can I propose that then, a presentation be done in the MACO next week, so that we allow, for now, the administration to sort out all the issues, the MM, prepare his house and everything be in order. That's why I said the recommendations are not important for now, because the full council will have to make a decision on this. So what I would propose for now, we deal with this matter in the MACO, the presentation be done. I don't know who will be available or from the stakeholders who presented it last week or so. Then they do that presentation in the MACO, and we will approve it in the council. That's what I would propose, Chair.
Committee members, are we in agreement with Councillor Chokola's proposal that the item move to the next mayoral committee meeting and that someone must do a presentation on the correct report, and if this one is the wrong one?
I will second that one.
Okay. Thank you, committee members. Let's move with the item.
Okay?
Okay, Councillor Komolwana.
No, man, give us a chance to speak. I agree with Jogolo, but when you raise hands, you must give us a chance to speak. You are the chairperson. Mr. Charles was not finished. He was cut short. So thank you. Let's move the item.
Thank you. I'm sorry for the interruption, Mr. Charles. I think maybe in our mayoral committee meeting, you can maybe give your version of the entire report. So this item is going to the next mayoral committee meeting. Item 7.2. Page 37. The original agenda. The monthly report, it's the legal matters of 1st July 2025 up until 31st March 2025. Can we note the report, committee members?
Yes, Chairperson.
We note it. Move with the next item, 7.3, the public participation quarterly report from January to March. Page 66, can we note the report?
Ye-
Chairperson, can you please, I asked you when you started
Oh,
the
sorry,
meeting.
sorry.
We're using the soft.
Page 66. Just press on top.
There's a number on top.
No, it's your laptop, man. Your laptop, man.
Seven point three, page 66. It's the public participation report. Can we note the report, committee members? Noted. Then we move to item 7.4,
85.
page 85. Councillor Lau, I'm the chair. Yeah. Records Management Audit Report and Action Plan, page 85. Can we note the report? Councillor Chokolo.
Yes, thank you very much, Chair. Chair, no, now that I see there's this report in front of us, I do know in the organization we've got records. I've never seen or heard I've never seen a report from that department. Are we going to start having this now every month?
Director.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, while it is my intention to bring a report from the administration section every month, you will see that even this month there is an ICT report, which it didn't used to happen previously, but I'm trying to get all of the relevant line departments to bring reporting to council so that council can be aware of performance, etc., that should be taking place within those departments. This particular report, with regards to the records department, the Western Cape government did an audit for us in terms of our records management system, and there were quite a few issues that were highlighted, and that will inform our future planning for that department in terms of budgets and whatever risks that were highlighted, etc., will be taken up in the risk management report as well. So this is just because we want to do due diligence and let council know that the audit had taken place and that there were some outcomes that we just want council to be aware of, because that is going to inform future work that we'll be doing in the records department to try and bring it into compliance with the recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Any other? Can we note the report? Speaker?
Thank you, Chair. That's the reason I ran now to chill. Chair, I think the issue of record need to be taken serious, because record is the heart of the business here with Ms. Ballard. I think even in the Mako, if we're going to get a holistic report, what's happening there? We cannot just drop people there close to the caucuses room. There's a lot the record is doing in the department. It's dealing with our personal files as well. We need those information as councillors. Because we cannot, if we need something, we must go to look for whatever. They are headless, those people are working there, to say the least. I will appreciate your department when you direct that. At the Mako, they must bring us leave the audit. We respect that one. What's happening internally? Do we care about our staff, with all the staff? We need here to do stock take in terms of KPI. We know people are acting there. You see, we don't want to go to that space, but give us a holistic report on the Mako about recording. I'm not here to debate with the director, but I'm just saying that. Unless if you're going to open for debate and then you're going to call me out of order, then I'll spill beans here.
Thank you, Speaker. Director, can you see?
Chairperson, yes, I hear what the speaker is saying. I want to say it's not going to be possible to produce such a report by the mayoral committee. As I have stated in my original address, it is my intention that at the next meeting, the administration department will bring a report on their activities, which includes the records management, and so that we can see how the KPIs, etc., for that department are also being met. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker. Did you take note? So we're going to bring it as Section 80 reports. Yeah, a standing item on the Section 80 report. It won't be possible for us to bring a report on the next mayoral committee meeting. Okay, can we move?
Yes, Chair.
Item 7.5, the ICT Section 80 report for April 2025. Can we note the report? Noted. Okay. Item 7.6, report on the new human resource matters for February 2025 to March 2025. Page 106. Committee members,
Yes, you can note it.
can we note it? Now we're going to move to properties. Item 7.7, report on the auction of municipal owned properties. Director, you want to start first on that?
Thank you, Chair. Again, this is on that same supplementary, just for the councillors following what was issued to them. The proper item was on the same supplementary agenda. But Chairperson, what I want to highlight is that we asked for two of the properties, two of the municipal properties to be removed from the auction, the list of the auction items. But I have to, in this meeting, and unfortunately do it verbally, also request for a third item to be taken off. It is item 535. Yesterday and during the course of this morning while we were here, some information had come to our attention that somebody had seen an advertisement on Facebook for the sale of Renendal 535. And that person then claims that they sent us a sales agreement that was signed between themselves and the municipality several years back. And it seems that there has also been, subsequent to that, an information received from the creditors department, thanks to the CFO this morning, that seems to indicate that the person had paid in terms of the sales agreement. We just need to do some homework to see how come that property transfer, what happened to the property transfer, because the wind deed program that shows who owns what property that's registered with the deeds registrar still shows NICE, the municipality, as the registered owner. However, we can't ignore the documentation that had been made available to the department indicating that potentially that ownership should have been transferred to somebody else. So my request is that the Renendal 535 also be removed from the auction item list, because it may be that the municipality has actually already sold it to somebody else. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker.
Chair, my favorite friend, Renewal. Welcome, look. Renewal. Chair, in page 41, I see it say withdrawal of properties, R353. The municipality is currently under pressure to vacate current rental premises used for office accommodation. The administration is considering utilizing the block of land in the Head Street, Protean, or Warawara. The administration therefore requests the removal of the tenant flats from the list of properties to be auctioned and used as interim office spaces. Is this the first time that we're going to discuss this here? You need our blessing for the removal. Chair, is this the first time that we're going to discuss it here?
Yes, Speaker.
But people are sitting with letters already.
Yes, Speaker, it did come to my attention and I did inform
How does it happen and why we are used as councillors? People are already receiving letters that you must go, but you bring an item here. How does it operate? We have voted here. Who's who here? No, there's a thief, John. Have something. Look at page 41. That you're going to discuss. People receive already letters that they must vacate at a certain date. So that's what I need to understand from you committee members. Just
Councillor Jokolo.
Yes, no, I wanted to say the problem that we are facing is that there's an shortage of the office space. And amongst the items that were going to be auctioned, there were items that we think that we can use for office space. So it's a notice that has been given to other colleagues. If council does not approve of it, that notice will be withdrawn. But the notice had to be given so that colleagues cannot just be removed just like that. The notice was given just to say that there are these processes that are taking place, which we are going to bring to council. We didn't want a situation, Speaker, where colleagues would just be taken by surprise. But the issue of the sausage was discussed in one, either in the mayoral committee or in council meeting, to say that we might have to recall some of the properties that we have listed so that they can be used for accommodation. This item would have come before. Remember, there was a postponement, Speaker. It would have come before, you know, but due to the postponement of meetings, so some of the items were taken by, were overtaken by events. It's not that there's anybody who's undermining anybody.
Chair.
Councillor Scosa.
Yes, I'm still on the items. You see, Chair, in this council, we took a decision as council which houses must be auctioned. We in this council, I even said to some people who meet me in town that I don't talk in corridors. I'm used to be excluded in issues of this municipality. But I debate here. You know, even in caucus, I say I debate things in the caucus. I heard this thing, I thought it's just information that's moved around wrongly. Auction lists were out, auction lists were withdrawn without any reasons. Then we hear in corridors that Kosana is going to stay in certain properties, that one is going that, people receiving a letter, Renowell is the agent, summoning people with letters. You see, we decide here, unless there's no point for us to have these meetings, because we account to these constituents of Neisner. Even if it says that we are under pressure to vacate current rental offices, I also need to know which rental offices are we under pressure with. The old Standard Bank, HR, which one? I never heard this thing. I'm part of the trigo, by the way. I'm in a little collusion, unless comrades felt that you must not know. Because this thing, I believe, where I'm seated, I was supposed to be taken into confidence. As councillors, we normally talk here about water and other stuff. That councillors, as much as you're focusing on water, there are these things that are under pressure as well. Our staff going to be homeless. Under this basis, support us. But how do you deal then? Your constituents, I'm representing the Greater Nice. Now you sit with a letter that within this date, because you is able to explain, and MM explaining to me now, how was it explained to the person that don't feel this way? It might, if it is withdrawn or still safe, you are not safe. The moment you receive a letter, you get shocked. It's like you get a brown letter, like we go to court normally about decision in this council. When I see lawyers here, they say, sign here. My job is just to bring this file to you. This is what happened here, and I will say that it is wrong. We must never be caught with surprises. Thank you.
Councillor Chokolo.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Chair. I saw the letter. But just coming back to the actual item, Chairperson, I hear what the speaker is talking about, but just maybe to give, because I also understand that there were a lot of items that came to this committee and to council dealing with the properties of this municipal council, whereby at some point the tenants were given dates to vacate those offices. And I think the issue, the issuance of the letter is an administrative issue because the MM knew already that there's a process. Remember, council approved this auction. So this property was on the list of that properties that are going to be put on auction. So MM was doing the right thing to inform the tenants that you need to vacate because council has taken a decision. So the MM was acting on the instruction of this council that made that decision, that it is going to use the properties for something else. So that's what I can say, Speaker, for now to explain to you. But yeah, that's it. People knew that there was a decision, and the MM was just performing his function to tell them that they need to vacate that. But Chair, if I can come back to the actual item, when I looked at the item at first, I've got a few questions, and then maybe I'll come in to say what I want to say. But I understand when we were dealing with the adjustments budget in February, there were properties, I think it was 3 of them. There was 3 properties that we said we were going to dispose and get money from them. And I think the amount was at around 11 million. And there was going to be a 3 million that we were going to get from Willie Beans that we were going to sell to George Municipal. I think the amount was sitting at around 14. And that amount was also going to allow us to have a funded budget at the time. So it was 3 properties, and I know the Buffalo Bay was one of them. I'm just not sure about the other 2, which ones were there. And yeah, I think the house as well, is it 2463, was also one of those properties. Now, what I want to understand, I see the Buffalo Bay one is still being proposed that it stays on there. But now if you remove the 2463 from the auction, how does that affect the money or the 11 million that we were counting on to say we were going to receive that? How does that affect that? And I don't see a problem with removing all the others. But my problem is that you've got properties that were already earmarked and who were going to help us in having a funded budget now being removed from that auction. If I can get an answer on that, and then I'll come back to what I want to say, Chairperson.
Councillor Law.
Thank you, Chairperson. Maybe it's the first time in my life that I will agree with Councillor Chokola, especially around about that 14 million rand and around that, because it was stated like you have said, and it was presented like you have said to us here. This is why we want to auction these, because we want to make sure in the adjustment budget that our budget has been funded, all these kind of things. Also, it was part of the 154, section 154, to deal with these issues to get our budget funded. But now, suddenly, after we voted for a new deputy mayor, now we have to redivert our actions while we have taken a decision around it. While we have said that this is precisely that we have to deal with the budget, the funding that we have to get to make sure we have a funded budget. Even that time with the adjustment budget process, it was clearly stipulated like that. I understand about accommodation or something like that. If I become a councillor in Pits Onder Water, it is my responsibility to make sure that I have to get a place to stay. It's my responsibility, because I become a councillor in Pits Onder Water. It's not the responsibility of the municipality. We took decisions here about how to deal with these things. Then in the corridors, we changed it. In the corridors, we changed it. Because we were under pressure that time to deal with the budget. I don't know if I'm wrong, and that's why I said it while the deputy mayor may have walked out. I was wanting him to sit there, because I to speak about the deputy mayor to make provision. So tomorrow you can also make provision for me and said, I need to go and stay here next door. No, it can't be correct. The municipality is not a social welfare organization. When we took decisions, Speaker, we have to implement our decisions. And the administrations, they have to implement it. So to call Councillor Zico, because I'm in agreement with you. Because now we're sitting with 5-point-something million rand, 6-point-something out of the 14 million rand that we said it will be part to make sure the budget has been funded, and we have adhered to section 154. But now we have 6 million rand out of 14, it means we have a shortage of 8 million rand. This is the calculations that we have to deal with. So Chairperson, can you give us direction, please?
Councillor Speaker.
Thank you, Chair, for me using your powers. People, they were given this morning powers for their Section 80s. I think we got amnesia, some of us, because the mayor was sitting there when we were talking about this issue of Southern Cape. If you read here, we're saying now we want to use it as offices. You remember the argument, Kay was sitting there and the mayor said, let's break. We'll talk about our flats. Some of us ask why Kay is speaking when the mayor is speaking in a council meeting. Read here in front of you, comrades. It says, I'll talk something else, interim office spaces. I'm talking about the flats down here. The mayor stood up there and said, wait for the land up there, the site visit. Let's leave that one. That was Matika in a meeting here. We said, yeah, we want a college, which is Southern Cape, who want to lease for 99 years. Then councillors ask for a caucus. They go out. Now they read now. It's not talking what you said in a council meeting. In fact, this item will come to a council meeting. Let me assure you that by D, we still need to vote this as all councillors. Go and read all your stuff. Then let's write what was reflecting in a meeting, Councillor Low. This is not what was decided in a meeting. Here is new information saying that we are under pressure now about office spaces. You see, that's what I'm saying, councillors. It says here, we withdraw because we are under pressure to vacate current rental premises, which I don't know which one, because HR is renting, Standard Bank is renting, we don't know where. It does not give you to tell you which one we are under pressure for. It moves further to say that the one you had in your mind as councillor that you resolve on for Southern Cape, it means that item must be here as well, because you must rescind that of Southern Cape as well. It's not here. That's all I'm saying. Leave the letter and now. What you decide in my council meeting. Leave the delegation of the MM to call what, where. Matika was sitting there, Kay was sitting where Pucheki and Andis was sitting. It didn't say this, we were talking about, there were site visit about the department, and Kay said, the mayor, you forget easily. We went there, wara, 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 wara. I'm saying what is written in front of me, what I'm reading, but I'm not changing the attitude of the meeting. If this is correct for you guys, it's fine. We'll see each other in a council meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker. Now you are correct. There was 3 Fs. The one was set to South Cape and the other one was for social housing. But this F number, I'm not sure. Which one is this? Because the letters that was circulated was for the flats at dock unit. That letters that people receive is the flats at the dock unit. And that F was set for social housing. So I think we are confusing each other, but MM, come in.
Yes, Speaker, honorable councillors, the area that we're speaking about is the Neisner Mall. We are speaking about Neisner Mall. It's unfortunate that it has not been specific, but we're speaking about Neisner Mall. Because the pressure we have, in fact, even our own lawyers would like us to move there, out of that particular place. So we're speaking about Neisner Mall, not any other place that we are renting on. Fortunately, the budget has balanced. Without this, yes, it was in the funding plan, but we were able to balance the budget, you know, through the adjustment budget and the current draft budget that we have. It doesn't mean we don't want that particular income, but fortunately we've been able to balance the budget. The issue, Chair, was that it would assist us more for us to use our own facilities than to rent. Exhaust those facilities first. So we didn't want to proceed when there is a proposal. We didn't want to proceed and then come to this and then say, but these properties have already been auctioned, because it would have created another problem. So that is why we're bringing here. The unfortunate part is that this item would have come earlier, but unfortunately, there's been some postponements. That is why it is coming at this particular late stage, Speaker. It's not that anybody is changing any resolution, but we as administration, we have the right to make proposals if the conditions changes. You know, the conditions have changed quite drastically. They have improved, but the pressure is that we must have offices moving out of Knysna Mall. That is the pressure that we are having. I think CFO can balance us in terms of other aspects of the assets. And as Director was saying, this one for Karatra, we got it through Castra Venstein. Actually, I've just received it now. There were people who were submitting this petition. I've not given it to Renwill. I've just received it now. The petition that it is said is coming from the residents of Karatra who are protesting around that particular project, property. It seems we might not have done our own due diligence in terms of that, but the proposal that these must be removed off the auction list is a genuine proposal. It is made out of the conditions that have changed. But council can say no, if it's just that this is the route that it must take, it must go through Section 80 Mayoral Committee, then to council. If council says no, we still stand that this proposal must be auctioned is fine. We would have done our work. What would be wrong would be for us to have a proposal and not submit it. Because at the end of the day, council would say, but you should have brought a proposal to council. But also for other offices, what currently Director Corporate is doing, they are conducting a report, they are conducting a study for all offices, so that we first exhaust our own properties before we can go external, you know, to look for other officer accommodation, so that we can have savings that we can make. That is the approach, Chairperson. There's nothing else beyond that, and there's no undermining of anybody, of any structure, not from us as management.
Thank you. Councillor Chokolo.
Yes, no, thank you very much, Chairperson. Chairperson, I hear the on this one. And mine is just on the flat one. Remember in the committee, I was in the committee about the South Cape thing. I was the one who's always been saying it's very frustrating how we move up and down with this matter and not make a decision. And at some point we were made aware, and I think the has been very open and transparent to council to say that we are going to have a problem with office space. He's made that comment several times in our council meetings. And I think if you read the report, the report is actually saying the administration, about that 535, R535, it says the administration therefore requests the removal of the Protea Terrace flats from the list of properties to be auctioned and used as interim office space. So it's not a council decision. That's what actually the administration is recommending because of the pressure that we're getting from the mall thing that we need to move out. Therefore, Chairperson, for me, I've been answered about the properties that have been removed now, who were forming the process of trying to balance the budget. So therefore, I would propose, Chair, that we also remove I don't get the reasoning as to why we should remove 2463. It's not, I think Councillor Lowe has agreed with me. Buffalo Bay, we stayed, that stays on there. It needs to be auctioned. The 2463 needs to be auctioned. But the Karatra and the Renendal one that the has also explained now, and also the Renendal, I think the director spoke to it as well. I think we should agree as a committee that they be removed from the auction list. I just want to make that recommendation. I would support that recommendation, Chair. But the Buffalo Bay and ERF 2463 should stay on the auction list. We need to get that money. Thanks, Chair.
Committee members, any input from yours? Councillor Cleon, we're going to remove Karatara.
Thank you, Chairperson. I just wanted to ensure that you did see my hand, but okay, if we've made that resolution, then there's no need for me to justify. Thank you so much, Chairperson. Noted.
Can we move?
No, we can't move. Councillors, we still need to figure out this earth of the flats. Which earth is this? Is it the South Cape one or is it the Dock Unit one? Is it the South Cape one? But the letters that the people received was the people from Dock Unit. So why did the residents of Dock Unit also receive vacation? They must vacate.
Chairperson, at this point in time, if I may, there was a previous assessment done on the extent of office space that is required. And if I can call it the Gordon Street flats, and the house that is there, is not sufficient to house all of the departments that currently, because I just want to get something else clear as well. Even where the HR department is currently, we need to vacate that because that is also something that is currently running on a deviation. We need to correct all of that. So we have given notices in the other flats as well, because at this point in time, our need for office accommodation and the extent of accommodation that we require, the Gordon Street flats is not going to be sufficient for that. So more people received notice.
Councillor Skosana, I'm
Thanks.
Councillor Low, also forget how. You remember, Councillor Low, we were sitting there to say that, what's this place? Golf club. Those people rolling balls. Yeah, we're afraid to go to those people. We're used to go to our people. We said that's the proper land that we can build our own offices. That was said in this council meeting. When we were not busy yet to close down the mall, cutting electricity. We know about those issues. We know about when you have offices close to the court. We said, let's target our properties. There are people sitting with our properties so that we can have our own place. Ne? That was said here, but we are easy, because we're easy target, because they are white. Why they don't receive letters as well? Give everyone letter then. That needs to vacate. Because that's our land as well. If you're saying that, as much as you haven't targeted others, give everyone letter. You couldn't write to everyone. Prove us. When we come here on the 29 May council meeting, you've written to everyone directed that, here's your letters, this is our property.
Director?
No, Chairman, you don't want me to speak. No, Chairperson, you are wrong, man. What you are doing. No, I agree with what the speaker said. We spoke about the bowling club, and we said it's the ideal area where we can deal with our office space. That's what we said. We said it here when Councillor Matika was the chairperson of this committee. After the 10 months that we give the DA to lead this municipality. That office space, we have to deal with it. My question is that, are we dealing with office space? To build our own buildings? Or we just want to move people from bakboord naar steenboord, van steenboord af naar bakboord toe? Because if we're dealing with office space, the bowling club was the ideal place to deal with it. And there's Renimal, he's sitting there. He's dealing with letters, as the speaker have said. The bowling club is our ideal place. Because there were two options, this place, this area, or the bowling club. So is that, are we dealing with office space? Or are we just moving people around? Because I believe in 2026, the bowling lease is lapsed, is finished. 2026. So they must get now in advance letters to inform them We are not going to renew the lease agreement because we have intends to build our office space there. So you give them a year time to decide they are going to Lesson Island or they are going to Satsfield to play bowls.
Chair, can we please stick to the agenda, please? We need to save time. You said we're going to finish long time ago.
Director,
Stick to what is
Sorry,
front
Chair,
of-
just before the director, Renul will assist me. The dock area, I don't know how to call that. That area is being removed by Water Affairs, not by us. We have had a finding that we must remove that unit. They don't want to see anything there in that wastewater treatment works at Vigilance Drive. So that is why then we have to ensure that they are moved out of there. There's a very serious finding that has been made by the Department of Water and Sanitation. And we have made that commitment because it's one of the areas that they've identified as non-compliance.
I think we are all lost. Okay?
Maybe if I can help, because I think maybe, when they say dog unit, I think you're referring to a matter to do with the animal welfare and the premises there. The dog unit is actually the flats that's at the curve of Waterfront Drive where the police have their Protea Terrace, where the police have their Milkwood.
Maybe.
It's so maybe that, but I would like to respond to the, I would like to respond to the councillors and give the councillors our assurance that the administration is looking at what the best options are in terms of long-term accommodation. We've made it clear in the report that the moving into municipal flats is an interim solution, and part of that is that there have also been subsequent discussions regarding that once the Knysna municipality do not need those flats anymore for office accommodation, that we need to be looking at affordable housing for people within the CBD, and that potentially it is something that should be considered once our interim need for those buildings have lapsed, that those buildings should potentially be used in future again for affordable housing and affordable accommodation within the CBD. So it is definitely interim, and we will be, as soon as we know what the options are, we will definitely be bringing an item to council in respect of the more permanent solution with regards to the office accommodation. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Director, you were talking about you did the evaluation to see that we would need the dog unit flats and the one downstairs. Is this also included the one up at, so all three flats are going to be occupied for municipal office space? I'm actually a bit disappointed in the one down there that we wanted for South Cape, because as a young person, we need South Cape College here. So
On the South Cape College, there was a proposal after, remember, Councillor Kay, after you took rounds, you came back and then said you identified a land that is owned by the province where South Cape College could move to. You know, there was a land that was identified. So we have requested that Director Planning and Economic Development assist us, because Councillor Sabah spoke to Premier Windy about that particular land, and they said that we can make an application. So that is why the issue of the Southern Cape, that's how it was dealt with in the previous meeting. It was not us. It was councillors who came back and said, we have identified a suitable land for that. Unfortunately, the land below, I even said to that debate that let's not be so authoritative about that until we have made an application to the province.
I want to move it.
Thanks, Yes, I remember that. Committee members, I think we just need the recommendation stipulated again for Joe, so she can know precisely what we are removing. So we are removing.
Chairperson,
Check
may
that,
I
because
assist?
we need to, there's something that needs to be corrected. The committee, it was not only one property that we looked at. We actually said we went to the one that we own. Parks, that's what we're looking at. So we've got two options. We were not sticking only to that one, because it was also explained it might take a long time. So, if we can maybe make it quicker and look at the parks one, because it's our property. And we've looked at it, it can accommodate us, it can accommodate South Cape satisfactorily. But just to maybe, I think the director wants to help with assist with the recommendations, but as long as they reflect what I wanted, Director.
Chairperson, if I may assist, firstly, there is a further item on the agenda where the college issue will be able to be discussed. And then I just want to, my understanding from the discussions from the councillors is that that recommendation A, just so that Jill can keep, that we don't make it difficult for her, that the report is noted. Recommendation B, that the list of properties to be removed from the auction now does not include IRF 2463, but it does include IRF 3534, and it does include IRF 535 Renendal. So those, and then in respect, and it does include also IRF 150 Karatara, if my understanding is then correct. I'll pause there for now because that is just now still dealing with recommendation B. Is that correct? That's correct. Am I reflecting? Then recommendation C will then be that because this is something that council should also note, is the fair market values, that the fair market value in respect of 160 Buffalo Bay be 5.250 million, which is different from the previous amount that council has approved. Karatara then is taken out. The fair market value for Renendal is taken out, but then the fair market value for IRF 2463, which now isn't in the recommendation, but that is an amount of 1,980,000 rands. And that needs to then be reflected as part of the recommendation under C, going from this committee to the mayoral committee, and then D then also stays. D doesn't stay as is because we need to change it just to 160 Buffalo Bay and IRF 2463 Neisner. Jill, did you get that like that?
Director is very clear. That's what I'm...
Director, can you just ask the chairperson, before you showed her that my hands was up, what is going on here? What is going on? You see, sometimes your things is not going to go right because you are rejected a person who is a straight and a fair speaker. I've raised my hand and the director shows that my hand was up long before. Ask her, there she is. I raised
Sorry,
my
Councillor
hand.
Charlie, but I haven't noticed your hand.
But she showed you, they showed you that I raised my hand.
No, I haven't even seen them indicating that your hand was up. Committee members, I just want to make a slight change. On the recommendation of Karate 150, I saw that the petition that was handed in also stated that we give the current occupier owner, that is there trading for 35 years, if we can give him an opportunity to purchase it for value price. That was in the petition. So I don't know if we can. Okay. So you say, We must just remove it and lease it further on. No.
Chairperson, if I may respond to you, it can be removed, but the disposal of that property will still have to follow a proper policy, and Knysna municipality has a policy and a process in terms of which it is either going to be rented or disposed, but we will bring that back to council for council's decision, but it must follow a process. It cannot just happen on the back of a petition. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Director.
Chairperson.
Councillor Cleone, then Councillor Charlie, if you still want to come in.
Thank you, Chairperson. Hi, Speaker. I hear you. Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I'm happy with that recommendation, yes, because we're not going to go into all the details because we've already concluded on the recommendation. But I would like us to consider and to perhaps add in there that a lease agreement, or as the director has advised, but we do definitely want to have some kind of, I know I must come back, but we do want to advise that a lease agreement must then be put in place, or something to ensure that we as the municipality are gaining financial income from this property, yet hearing the cries of the community that it serves its purpose and the job creation and the benefit that this business brings to the community. But we do need to just ensure that a lease agreement is then put in place for generating income from this property. Thank you, Chair.
Councillor Charlie, you want to say something?
Just a reminder on this portfolio. You see, there's a cash crusaders here when you reach Pick and Pay. When you need money, you will go to that shop and say that, take this because I need this amount of money. We've been doing site visits because this municipality need money. Finance department need money. And when we go out on site, we, as councillors, we came into an agreement. Now I can see why, while Ricky was the mayor here, there was this issue of the old Edgar's building that never go anywhere. When I started in this council on the second year, it was about an old building that is going to be demolished and offices are going to be built there. Bugudugu, it's now the what you call Indonland. Yes. Do you see? Now, that is why we are not going anywhere. You see, that is why we are not going anywhere. If you look at the managers, officers, compared to the office of me as a councillor, it's a disgrace. Look at the situation where the director, where that manager, go and have a look in their offices there. It's a disgrace. They are sitting in a pawn shop, Chinese shop, where everything is filed up. There's no space. There is nothing. Look at my office. 10 times better than their offices. Now this thing, if we can direct her, if we are doing something that is right once and for all, I will agree. But this today, we agree that this must be sold, and then the next time now something else is coming up. It's like there's a ghost that is throwing us somewhere. We are not going forward. We were there at that building. The same person who said we should go to that building, the same person said that those people is not the right thing. Now that building there, we must now move. Again, people are going to say that we don't know what we are doing. I agree, I respect each and every official. But what I'm saying that I heard about the old building that was going to be demolished. Then it was that bowling club whereby we were told nothing has been done. Nothing that we're sitting here is nothing. That poor official is going up and down with us, Nonelo, going on the site visit for these properties. Now, when the properties must be sold so that we can have money, because we are the ones who are saying that the CFO is the one we need money for our service delivery. Then we're coming up with other ideas. Let us speak Honestly, you know, sometimes the paper can confuse, but let us put ourselves as the Africans and put things straight. That is going to suit us in Naisna. Something that is going to suit us and fit us. Let us forget about the province. Let us look on what is right, what is correct for us in Naisna. What is going to take us forward in Naisna. We are sitting here with some things that was done in 2015, 2016. There was never a solution. There was never a resolution. Now it's like a ghost. He gooi for ons here, left, right, and center. We're going vice versa. When go there, we go there. Hi, man. I am not this at mix. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Charlie. Can we move with the recommendation? Councillor Cleon, we're not going to add that, ne? We move for the recommendations as we have stated.
amended, yes.
Noted, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 7.8, the report back on the progress of the Land Audit Committee. We note the report. 100, okay, noted. Item 7.9, application of lease portion, remainder of the, is it the Vink investment, Shedfield, Super Spa. Can we move with it, committee members? 155? Is that portion of Spa in Shedfield?
Can they just enlighten us, so then small enlightening us?
Chairperson, if you are familiar, for those of you who have been together on the site visit, if you have been to Sedgefield, behind the Spa, this is the part of Spa, that is after, where the parking lot is there behind Clicks. There is a dirt road there. That is what they are asking for here, is the dirt road, because they bought the property opposite.
Okay, that's fine. Ren wil dit sê koppelskat.
So we move with recommendations, committee members?
Yes.
Noted, we move. Oh, item 7.10.
So, Chair.
Committee members, if you remember previously, we did make a recommendation for this property not to be sold. Councillor Lau?
Yes, Chairperson, I remember that there was a recommendation, and Renewal can just enlighten us what was the recommendation, because there was one that we noted the report. The second one is that we don't sell it to them, and the third one was about the administration must deal with the breach of code of the breach of that guys that claim that they are homeowners association, that we have to deal with that lease of them. Renewal, can you just enlighten us if through the chairperson? It was the recommendation that we have made. So we already have recommended to the council and to the maker around it.
Thank you. Renwu, let me come in. We did make a recommendation. The item it was withdrawn in a mayoral committee meeting. So that's why the item came again. So we are just going to make our previous recommendations again. Okay, thank you. No, we know you were against it, you and Councillor Sabah.
No.
You did say you were against it.
No, Chairperson, can I speak on the item? The item is coming back to the committee. Can I speak on it?
How can I speak?
That was-
But we're going to go with our recommendation.
No, Chair. Chair, I don't see why would you not want to sell the property. We were there, and I don't see what the municipality is going to do with that property. You can't use it. I don't see the reason why we're actually rejecting it. And in fact, the item that is in front of us, it has not even reached that stage. It's just asking this committee to approve that it goes for public comment. And I don't know why do we actually now say we're not approving it. We normally let these applications go through a public process, and then they come back. As council, we could consider all the views and make a decision at that point. So I don't understand why the predetermination on this one and make it very quick and try and cut it off. Therefore, I don't agree with what you're saying, Chair. I would say we go with the recommendations as they are in front of us. You just remove recommendation G that's saying it must go to the next section 80. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Chokola. This is not a, we did debate this thing lengthily on the previous section 80. For an hour we debated this item, so that's why I said we're not gonna debate it anymore. We already made recommendations to the mayoral committee, so we're gonna stick with the previous recommendation as it is. We're not gonna sell it, and we move.
Thanks, Chairperson.
Thank you.
Chairperson?
Can I just, for clarity for the recording of, that that there's a proper recordal, because I think why some of these items are back here is because there was confusion over what was recommended to the maker, so I would like to get it right. So if I understand, we stick with recommendation A, the noting of the report, but that recommendation B is that the application is not approved, and that recommendation C will be now the existing recommendation H, that the administration attend to the breach of contract with regards to the lease agreement and the structures. Is my understanding correct? It is A, B, and C, and have I, thank you.
Thanks. Great.
Chairperson, for a record, thank you, Chairperson, for a record. You see there, teasing. My roots are there. I can't enter there now, I must have a card. I don't want that thing to happen. We keep that. We are not going to sell it. We keep this for our legacy. Because somebody who's got money, pounds, will come and sell.
Thanks.
Thank you. We are not going to. We stick to it.
Thank you. Item 7.11, proposal of the extended lease agreement on the Buffalo Bay Caravan Park. Committee members? It's page 237.
237.
They want a further 5 years. Is that the one at the sea? Yes, that caravan park.
Chairperson, I think we were having a long debate around that one also. Yeah, it was about a 2-3 years lease that we spoke about, because their lease will expire in 2027, if I'm correctly, through you, Chairperson, to Renwell. Their lease agreement will expire through you to the director in 2027. Then we add another 2 years or 3 years around it. I think it's about that. So, Chairperson, can you...
Renwell, is that the correct information?
Through the Chairperson.
The information is that their lease expires on 31 January 2026. And the recommendation from the administration is then at C, that it be extended for 18 months from that date only. And not for the full 5 years as requested.
Okay. Can we move, committee members?
Yes, Chair.
Okay. Let's move. Item 7.12, report on conclusion of lease agreement, Shedfield Post Office.
Chairperson, sorry. It's for note.
Yeah, it's just for now.
Noting.
Okay, so let's move, committee members, on the decision of the post office. Item 7.13, the report on the termination of the lease between Nisa Municipality and request to enter into a long-term lease agreement portion of 240 Karatra. Renwell, can you give us a background?
Chairperson, this is the, again, I wasn't here when you all did the site visits, but I'm quite familiar with this. It's where the old hydroponics project was in Karatra. So that is on your way to Bergvallei, on your way to Bostop, if you on the right-hand side of the gravel road.
Councillor.
Chairperson, I just want Renwell to enlighten us on the previous what happened there. Because I don't know if these people that want to lease it they were part of the previous guys that was part and parcel of that whole thing there. Because why I want to raise it? Because the community is an outcry about. Because the community is an outcry about what was happening previous there. And the community of Karatra are feeling that why can't they not using that facility while the previous guys that was there and maybe these guys that are here now want to lease it were part and parcel of the previous ones and they didn't utilize it in a process where it created a lot of job opportunities for them. So I just want to find out, is it the same guys? Is it one of them? Were they partners in this whole thing that want to lease it now instead of we are going out and open it for the community? I beg you, Chairperson, to the Director. This lease agreement, is it for the community now or is it for the same people? Through you, Chairperson, to the Director, is this lease agreement? Okay, no, it's to open it up for the community of Karatra. Yes, I will go for that then.
Thank you, committee members. Councillor Chokolo.
Yeah, no, Chair, I support the recommendations, but if you can just maybe add that, because I don't think we went for a site visit on this one. If you can just maybe in the next round we include it for a site visit. But for now, the recommendations, it's still gonna go out for public participation, yeah. Then we can do a site visit as well. Thanks, Chair. I'm supporting the recommendations.
Thank you, committee members. Can we move item 7.14, application to purchase a portion of earth 2742 Neisner Junction of 2609, 9765 and 9766 Neisner, page 320.
It's there behind, past Bosons on the left-hand side. Erenway Village. An old place, if you turn off from George Rex, there at the Bosons pub, then if you drive just a little bit past that, on the left-hand side. Yeah.
I think this is the property where they already encroached that portion. They can do actually nothing with that. So we can move with the recommendations. Committee members?
As I be Doodlebugslands.
So committee members, we move with the recommendations?
Yes, Chair.
I don't hear you.
Yes, Chair.
Item 7.15, to lease a portion of 228 Buffalo Bay. Bren will refresh our minds, please.
Is it the idea van Councillor Campbell?
Yes. Chairperson, this is if you're going towards Buffalo Bay, on the wild side, on the right-hand side, there is a restaurant operating there, where the previous lease was a lease that was just given by the municipal manager within the municipal manager's delegations. This person has asked for an extension of their lease, which actually already expired at the end of last year. When we were preparing our item, we realized that the tenant hasn't been paying the municipality any rental since the end of last year. Hence our recommendation as the administration that the application be refused and that the council notes that we will ask the credit control and debt collection department to recover the arrear rentals, and that we would ask the tenant to vacate the property, and then we need to decide how we will move with the property forward. We didn't make a recommendation in that respect, but this is for council to consider.
I will go with the recommendation because you say that the person is still there, the person still make money, but this person doesn't pay the municipality. It means the person squat. Illegal, is a legal squatter die. So I will go with the recommendation, Chairperson, if it's in order with you.
Councillor Chokolo.
Yeah, Chair, I agree with the part in the recommendation that we refuse the application. I'm just worried, Chair, that this might also be one of those properties that someone leaves and then nothing happens with the property for a very long time. Is it not possible for us to make a recommendation that can maybe give the administration advice as to what can be done maybe with the property? Can it be included, or will they have to bring a separate item, a proper item for it? Because I'm just worried we deal with it now. The person leaves the property, and we've had a lot of examples around town whereby nothing happens if someone leaves. It just becomes vandalized, and we must now try and get money from us and try and fix the place.
I'm just thinking now, Councillor Chokolo, it's most that sea restaurant thing. That building doesn't belong to us. So I think if anyone wants to start a business, they must actually then apply for the property then, or to do something on the property. But Director?
Chair, this is one of those properties where it's very difficult why we didn't make the recommendation. If you will recall, there is the current disputed properties matter between ourselves and the Garden Route District Municipality happening. This is one of those properties. So at this point in time, we would be, since it's still in dispute, to put out too much of a long-term proposal and the request for proposals, it might be seen as that we are running ahead of the outcome of that intergovernmental dispute. So it is so that's why we were kind of silent and careful about making a recommendation about how to use it in the future. That building, the structure that is currently there, was actually put up by the current tenant, and it needed to have been put up as a temporary structure, given where it is also situated in terms of the environmental implications, therefore. So the tenant would need to then take the structure off. If somebody else then approaches the municipal manager, also again on a short-term basis, then that is the recommended way forward, that we treat that property while it is a particular property in dispute. Once the dispute is settled, we can discuss and bring proposals to council about potentially more long-term utilization of the property. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Committee members, we're going with the recommendations. Let's move
Yes,
with it.
I don't know.
Chair, I move with the recommendation.
I don't know why I agree with you every day now.
Councillor Sabach is not here.
I'll always lead you to agree with me.
Thank you. Committee members, item 7.16, application to lease a portion of 1339, 1340, and 1342, a Neisner junction of 132 Neisner Metlekamp. Committee members, page 353. Can we get input?
Can they enlighten us? Because I know Councillor Campbell likes this metal camp.
Councillors, Chairperson, this is for the parking lot that they currently renting from us and paying us the rental for. And this item is what our proposal is, that the application for their extension is published for public comment, so that if there's anybody else who wants to have a better use for it, that those comments can be tabled before council.
Committee members, can we move for the recommendations?
Yes. We move, Chairperson.
Thank you. Item 7.17, application to purchase a portion of 43 Buffalo Bay, a junction to 381. Enlighten us, Renwong. Page 381.
Is it die wat teruggekom?
No, it's not there. This is one that is adjacent to the long road that goes into Buffalo Bay. It's one of the high premises where they're already encroaching onto a portion. They've got a rental agreement met ons that they are on a portion of what is municipal land that is, it's really, there's no other potential use. If you look at the GIS map, it's quite steep and there's nothing else that can be done on that property. So this is why we've recommended that we advertise the intended alienation thereof.
Yes, no, we were just at the back of it.
We
And we
agreed.
didn't see, we were at the back of the house. I remember now.
I was
But
there.
you are very interesting because you are pushing certain.
Thank you, committee members. Let's move with the item. Are we agreeing on the recommendations?
Yes.
Okay, item 7.18, report back on application for lease agreement for a portion of Earth 1316, Naisna, Butting Earth 3556, page 418, Renwell. Enlighten us, please. I know the director will say. Director?
Chairperson, this is now the earth that is at the back of the new Food Lovers. And this is one of the urban in terms of which I think there is one of these environmental issues that the municipal manager is currently needing to deal with, because a person that we can't really put the finger on who has created a berm on the edge of the lagoon, and that the municipality is, because it's our earth and we're the owner, we are now being held responsible for that environmental, we've triggered a list, not we've, whoever did that triggered a listed activity, and that needs to be resolved before we can do anything in respect of this earth. So I think that there is currently an investigation underway. I'm not quite sure how far that is, but we haven't yet, as a municipality, been given, we need to still do the corrective actions or investigations. So we are recommending that the matter of the illegal dumping first be resolved and the environmental issue be resolved, and that it be brought back to council once that has been done.
So what you are saying through Chairperson, if I may, that because I know the last time they was talking about that they will have the independent environmental team that will deal with it. That's what they have said last time in our last meeting, that we were having a debate around it. So what we are saying, actually, the recommendation is that they have to deal with the illegal dumping, and they have to deal with the environmental issues around what is happening there, because I know that there's a stream of water that is running there on the one side there. They have to pass there, but if they can also deal with that and see what are they going to bring up to deal with it, so we can know precisely, so we can make an informed decision around it. Is it the same area that I spoke?
Yes, it's that one.
Van Koosiela.
Daarachter. No, thank you very much, Chairperson. Chair, I just want to understand the illegal dumping that has happened, or that's happening there. Is it the applicant? Who's the, or they're still investigating? So, yeah, if we're still investigating, Chair, can I, because, yeah, for me, I would say, Chair, remember now we only, by looking at the report, we actually refusing the application because of the illegal dumping, nothing else. If I look at because I think this item served here twice. The problem now is that they've done this illegal dump. There's an illegal dumping there, and we don't know who it is yet. The investigation will tell us later. So the problem now is the illegal dumping. Everything has been covered. That thing that you're talking about, Councillor Lowe, the independent environmental person, I think that happened. So if that's the case, but I want to listen to what the director wants to say, Chairperson. Then I'll go forward with my recommendations. Thank you.
Chairperson, the current activity, and it's illegal dumping, but what has happened here is that it is very clear that what has been done is that building rubble and excavation materials had been taken from wherever the site might be, and it has been used to create a berm that is a listed activity in terms of the NEMA environmental regulations. This happened subsequent to whatever previous submissions were made by the council. It's a very recent activity, but for which we as the landowner, we are now being held responsible in terms of the environmental legislation, and we need to sort it out. So either by investigating who is responsible and going after that person to sort out to the requirements of the relevant environmental department, or we as a municipality will have to then budget for and then apply for the corrective actions that we need to take, and we need to then affect those actions before we can do anything else with that earth, because nobody can currently now use it while the environmental investigation is underway.
Councillor Chokolo.
Yeah, no, I hear what the director is saying on that, Chairperson. So I just want to understand, Chair. So there was not even actually, I mean, if this applicant is, how do I put it, transparent and open, was there just an engagement to say, have you done this, or have they been asked to say, have you done this, or haven't you done this? Because I'm worried that we go for an investigation and someone can just say, hey, yes, I've done it, but I'm sorry, can I fix it, or something like that. Did we try and go that route? And like the MM normally says that, you know, the courts sometimes would want you to try and resolve issues if you can without going the litigation route with each other. Did we maybe have that engagement with the applicant?
Committee members, can I make a proposal for us to move the item to the next mayoral committee meeting and gather more information, because the applicant did send more information of sand parks and building control. So I don't know if the director received that information, so we just can scrutinize that information and make a full recommendation in the next mayoral committee meeting. Councillor Director.
Chair, if I may propose that I agree with you that the item be sent, or that this committee then rather makes the recommendation that it be referred to the mayoral committee for deliberation, but that also the relevant environmental manager who would have been working with Sandparks regarding this matter, that she be invited to also attend the meeting to address council to inform those deliberations. Thank you.
Second, you, Chair.
Thank you. Yeah.
No, I say second chair.
Yeah.
No, I say second chair.
Thank you, committee members. Are we in agreement?
Yes, Chair.
Councillor Chokes, you agree with us?
No, I agree, Chair. It's for deliberations at
Yeah.
the MACO.
Yes.
So the MACO mustn't tell us we're not members of the MACO.
Thank you. Item 7.19, report back on application to purchase the portion of 11336 Honley Neisner Junction to of 20386 Neisner, page 473.
This is, if I may, This is the house that exceeds a little bit here, a little bit big house. In, what is the street now? Fonteinstraat.
Kaptein Fontaine van Boot.
It's like on a
Aan
corner.
Kapteinstraat.
We said was we are
groot
giving
huis,
it. We
ja.
said we are giving it. Yes, yes,
Yes.
let's move. Committee members, item 7.20, application to purchase a portion of 14077 Gobololo Neisner Junction to of 21100 and 21101 Neisner, page 494. Can we move with the recommendations?
Yes, Chair, it's note 7. Note 4, yes.
Thank you.
Still IDP meeting tonight.
Committee members, so you say we are all in agreement of that one? Okay, item 7.21, report back on Skills Development Center, South Cape College, a portion of 568, 56571, and 3801 Neisner, page 517.
Person, can you enlighten us, this, is it this one there
Director, can you give us more information?
and that one there? By the dog unit. Okay, is net hier zo achter elkaar. Waar is die area, Chairperson? As het daar waar the former MMF state.
If may I try and get us all oriented? So this includes, as council will see, the application for the South Cape College of our parks, where they have their old nursery that we don't use anymore, that's right next to the N2. They have applied for a portion of that particular earth. When the site visit with the councillors prior to this, in anticipation of this meeting happened, and the site was walked, it became apparent that there's quite a lot more of the municipal earth there that could potentially be alienated for the building of a bigger campus for South Cape College in that space. Hence, the then discussions that led to the inclusion of other urban that had previously been decided by council to be utilized by the college, that rather, as we have discussed in a previous item, be used for office space, which requires rescission of certain council items that had previously taken place, but that we are recommending that a bigger portion of, it's 3801, that a bigger portion of the alienation, of that earth be subdivided and alienated to the South Cape College. We are also recommending that council authorizes the municipal manager to enter into negotiation with the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure to effect the necessary transactions to enable NICE, the municipality, to do a land swap for an earth that is owned by the same department, and that we exchange our property, which is a bigger portion and much better located for South Cape College, with their property that they have that we can use
rather for human settlements and for potential development of rental or social housing in that other space. So it is quite complicated and technical, but it amounts to, if Councillor Beauty was here, I'm going to causalize it, that no other properties will be given to South Cape College, that we identify a much bigger portion of the property that they've applied for that's next to our current Parks Department depot, that used to be a nursery, but is no longer being utilized in that way, and that potentially we also get very well-suited land for human settlements development as an exchange for that.
Committee members?
Chairperson, I will go with that, but I want to ask something here. The MMF raised something fundamental previously about the other land that belongs to Education Department. And for 2 years, I have properties. That piece of land, it is suitable for social housing. That land of Education Department. That we have to engage them. Because why I'm raising this, they have even land in Brenton where people don't want us to go. That belongs to the Education Department. And you have showed me, don't look like that, Randall. You have shown me that there's the land of the Education Department. Now you are shocked, but you have shown me there's the land, close to the nice area. I through you, Chair, that we engage Education Department, even if it's Public Works or Education Department, because we are going to deal with education on the one side. We have property that we say you can utilize this. Can you not, because housing and social housing and mixed housing is also important, can we do a swap, intergovernmental swap process? If you can lead that process, like even with this issue of the school in Damsabos, to deal also with that immediately in the discussions. But I just want to mention that about that land.
Thank you, Councillor Chokolo.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I just want to understand the property that South Cape owns. Which property is it? Is it?
Chairperson, if I may correct Councillor Chokolo, it is not South Cape who owns it, it is the national government who owns it. So the Department of the Infrastructure Department is the custodian of all the national government properties. That's why it is recommended that the MM be given the go-ahead that we can start the intergovernmental discussions to do the land swap with them. But they own it, but it is intended for education purposes. It would be a little bit, it's smaller than what we can offer the South Cape College for them to have, and our property is also closer to the communities that would be served by the college. So it is proposed that we then just do a simple swap of their land, irrespective of the values of the two properties.
Councillor Chokolo.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I'm covered on that one because I got it wrong. I thought it was South Cape who's got some property. My second one, Chair, my worry is just the second part of this, because if you remember, I think the mayor explained it nicely the last time when he spoke about this, that this thing was two parts. It was about accommodating South Cape temporarily, and we seem to have not resolved that by this, we seem not to be accommodative of that, and I'm worried now about that, that South Cape now can only be here in 20 years or more time. So it's not something that's going to happen now. Chairperson, I think this is something that we really need to look at, and I do understand, look, we tried to have them occupying 568 and 571, But we are really in trouble as the municipality because we do need office space as in tomorrow. So that I fully understand. But I do think, Chairperson, we need to make a plan for South Cape to have something to start with and have that footprint at least starting in Eisner within the 2 years or so. Because they wanted to be here already last year. And yeah, Chair, it's just a pity for me and it's sad for me that we are unable to make a plan for them to start as in last year, as they wanted to start last year. But I do understand that we also we're struggling with office space, but I think we should try harder, Chairperson. I don't know, thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Chokolo. I'm in agreement with you that we need to look into the South Cape College issue as ASAP. Director.
Sorry, I don't mean to belabor this, but nothing, if once the has been given permission to enter into engagements, and the engagements are underway, there's also possibilities that if South Cape College has, for example, temporary classrooms that they can put up, that we can enter into some kind of lease agreement on the intended property that we've got for that we would want them to have, that there could be, for example, temporary classrooms. So there are these possibilities that one can also look at once their investors and the people who are sponsoring them in this, and that we can assist in bringing the very important tertiary education a little bit closer to our own residents. Thank you.
Director, I'm in agreement with you on that part. I also spoke to the mayor on Concordia School is finished. So there next to Tembelicha, what's the school's name? There's the old Concordia Primary School, and there's a lot of mobile structures. I don't think Tembelicha will use all of that units. Maybe to go into an agreement with education to say they must give that mobile structures to the South Cape to put up at our property. And because I've wrote to the mayor to ask for mobile units for the disabled school we used to have in Eisner that was currently closed due to they don't have accommodation. The Little Angel School. And that school was on only primary property, and that school used to close down because they don't have property anymore. Because I am in contact with the mayor on we need to open that school again. Our differently able children are suffering, and parents are suffering because they have no way to accommodate their children. So that is also one thing we need to look into, is to accommodate our differently able children. They are in conjunction with the werkswinkel, and every morning the werkswinkel will go through the location to pick up all the differently able kids and bring them to school. And that is a thing that we as NISNA and councillors need to look into, to revive the Little Angels differently able school also, and get a piece of property, and maybe what education asks for that mobile school of the Concordia Primary, they're not going to use all of that units anymore because it's going to be vandalized if we don't intervene. Speaker.
Thank you. I'm worried that you're all wasting your energy about Southern Cape College. We don't have an interest there, man. It's very clear. Here we decided about the flats close to the hotel, the favorite hotel in Waterfront, where the former was staying. People received someone from Renwell. Some left, some stayed there. We're supposed to be there by now with Southern Cape. So our reality, just can we move with the item in front of us? Then when time comes, we'll deal with that one again. For now, we won't go anywhere with Southern Cape. Let's forget about Southern Cape in nice.
Thank you. Let's move, committee members. So we move with the recommendation, committee members?
Yes, Chairperson, but also in conjunction that we must, I don't know if we have other fletches also behind the garage, if we still have fletches there, or it not belongs to us, then we can also make use of that space for South Cape College to deal with it.
Thank you, thank you. Item 7.22, application to lease a portion of 15865 in Demeni,
We go,
page 528.
we go with the recommendations,
with
Chair,
it.
thanks.
Okay, let's move. Item 7.23, application to purchase a portion of Kinetic Cataramas. What is that? Catamaras. Page 618.
Chairperson, let, we go with
Director,
the recommendations. It's gonna
Director,
come back
brief us, please.
and be advertised.
It's the Earth, councillor, that is, next to where the current, where people go for their driving, parking tests, that station there. So there is this Earth where their building is already on this portion of our property. It is that property that we are referring to here. Yeah.
Committee members, can we move for the recommendations?
Yes.
Thank you. My laptop just went down, committee members. I'm checking for the supplementary items. We dealt with that one. It was the
Yeah, if I can, yeah. So we've done the supplementary, but there is another supplementary.
Is it nog item 43?
Which one is that now? Sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, there is still an item on Sedgefield that is still coming in the sequence. Item 7.24.
item. What's the item number?
It's on the supplementary agenda that had the org structure and the municipal properties. Then under new matters is 7.24, which is the report back on the remainder of Earth 1692 Sedgefield. It is the report back on the legal status of, there is an Earth that was supposed, that had vested in the municipality, which is 1692 in Sedgefield. And this is, this report, it's a recommendation. Sorry. And this report, we are recommending that the vesting transfer be noted. And that it be noted that the council conducted a site visit last year, and that council then mandates the municipal manager to appoint an attorney on our current legal services panel, specializing in planning law, to effect the transfer of the portions of remainder of the vested portions of the remainder of Earth 1692 Sedgefield, as identified by the Surveyor General as public roads, streets, etc., into the municipality's name, because it currently isn't in our name. So.
Okay, we know what item it is, yeah.
Is it this public roads that is a part of a trustee? So if I walk there, they can go and lay a criminal charge against me because I do trespassing. And that road was supposed to belong to the Nyasa municipality. Now we must take back our roads, because how can public roads belong to a trust? It's like they're taking the sea when they arrive here 6052. Now we can't even go to the sea. Now they want to take our roads also. No, it's not, it can't happen like that. No.
Committee members, so we go with the recommendations?
Yes. Yes,
So we
Chair.
move with the recommendation?
Yes,
That's
thanks.
the only supplementary items. Is it
Still
there another one?
7.25.
I know there's an in-committee one.
But there's still two more before in committee. 7.25 is the employment equity plan and report, Chairperson. Are you taking a break?
8.2, I'm waiting here. I'm here for this one. There are lucky people in each other, just get jobs. Like this. For you, here, here for you, Clara,
Director, why you laughing when I speak?
Committee members, item 7.2.25, compliance items. Is it the employment equity plan?
Yes, Chair,
In
can we
report.
go for it? We are not a quorum. We are not a quorum, because now the other one have collapsed this meeting. The G and U collapsed.
Thank you, dear Councillor Kumolwana is back. So we're moving with item 7.25, committee members?
Yes, Chair, for now. For now, we're moving with it. They just have to check employment, how it is. Are we meeting the requirements?
Chair, the issue of equity goes with the employment of an institution. If we don't fill up positions, how will we be able to balance our equity? People just go to interviews here, move all the stages. Last phase, they don't receive letters, you are unsuccessful or you are successful. You'll never balance your equity, Chair. You must make sure HR is there for you. When you started those processes, barely makes a slag, man. You are not successful, so that person can continue look for outside life. So that you can balance, now you know this is a female, disabled, colored, Indian. Now you create unnecessary expectation. People drive to Niger for interviews. Some come here. Remember, there's a process also that you need to work your notice if you are accepted to a certain institution. After COVID, people don't work. Our HR take people lightly when they come here. People spend money for service. At least get there, then equity will see there that it balanced now. Okay, we need so much. This is the true reflection of it.
Thank you, Speaker. I also just want to note, I didn't sign the register of 6th of December on the employment equity roster. I didn't sign it, but I was there in that meeting. But I see now, I didn't sign the register, just to indicate I was present.
8.2.2, Chair, we can note.
Item
we can note the
8.2.2.
report. Thank you.
Yes, we know the report, the committee members. Even
Noted, Chair.
Chair, be careful. People must not
Said
listen.
Speaker.
Chair, one, you cannot discuss this thing like this. It's confidential.
On the open agenda or closed?
You're talking now, it's open. You said it's moved. It's open meeting here. It's
Okay.
still open. This item is confidential.
Committee
This is
members,
your
can
committee
we-
members just run.
Can
Jump.
we close the
You
meeting?
cannot jump for the sake of jumping.
are we closing the meeting, Chair?
In committee items.
Yes, thanks.